Yo, it's your boy Westhetech here to bring you another one of my personal favorite tech tips to help you as an artist growing your craft. Now, today we're going to go over how to register a song with Ascap, all right? So if you're a recording artist who currently signed up for Ascap but don't exactly know how to register your first song with them, then this is the perfect video for you, because in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to register a song with Ascap as a member, all right? Now, before I continue, I definitely want to let you guys know about my free music business checklist tool, all right? With this tool, this is for any one of you guys who's looking into starting your own music business but don't exactly know where to start, all right? With this tool, you'll be able to identify 3 things that you could do right away to start your own music business. So if you want to grab that free tool, you can click on the link above. I'll also leave a link in the descriptions below, all right? So for those of you who haven't signed up for Ascap yet, but you absolutely want to register a song with Ascap, then the first thing that you absolutely have to do is actually create an account. You actually have to sign up for it. I'm not going to go over the process of signing up with it because it's very, very easy. All you got to do is create an account, put your personal information in, and do that. But once you have already created an account, you will then have a username and a password so that you can log in, all right? So that's where we're actually going to start with this registration process. The first thing that you guys want to do is, in fact, log in to your Ascap account, all right? Once you log in, they're going to take you to the dashboard, which is going to look just like this here, all right? From this dashboard, all right, obviously on the left-hand side, you have all your different options to choose from. But to register a work, all you have to do is click on this blue button right here that says register a work, all right? Once you click on this blue button here, you'll then get a screen that is going to be the terms and conditions screen, all right? Of course, you can click on the link to look at the terms and conditions and do all of that stuff. But essentially, all you want to do is hit I agree button, and then it should take you to your actual registration form, all right? Now, from your registration form, the first thing that you're gonna notice is the works title. So what you want to do is you actually want to enter in the title of the song right here. Whatever you actually decided for the song title to be, that's what you're gonna type in the works title part, all right? Then from that point, you are then gonna move on to the writers and publishers share of the form. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, this is where the bulk of your work is going to be, right in this section right here with the writers and the publisher shares, all right? Before I continue, I feel like I have to really clarify for you guys so you understand what counts as writer share and what counts as publisher share, all right? So when it comes to the writer share, and actually, at least for ASCAP specifically, they actually break it down this way, all right? And this is actually something you can look up right on ASCAP as well, but I have it up for you guys now so you guys can really see it, all right? So when it comes to writer shares, that includes the composer, which is obviously the person who made the music, the person who made the beat, only the beat, right? The producer, so to speak, right? And then you have the writer share, or the author, which is the person who actually wrote the lyrics, all right? 9 out of 10 times, if you're an independent artist, that's you, all right? Then you have the composer slash author, which are those of you who are out there who actually make your own beats and write your own lyrics. All right? I'm one of those people. I typically make my own beats and I write my own lyrics, so I would be classified as a composer slash author, all right? But I really wanted you guys to really understand what counts as a writer share, because a lot of times when you hear writer share, you don't think about the producer, because the producer made the beat, right? He didn't really write the lyrics to the song, but the producer counts under the writer share. Anybody who actually made the song is under the writer share. Now, the publisher share, that's for publishing. That's if you have a publishing company that may be publishing your work. If you don't have a publishing company, then you will be your own publisher as an independent artist, all right? But I just really wanted to break that down for you guys so you guys to really understand that before we continue, all right? So moving right along to the section of the writers and publishers share, the first thing that you're going to see is the first writers section, the first box where you could actually put in the first writer, all right? Then what you're going to want to do is you want to click on search by writer IP. Once you click on that, your name should automatically pop up because it is your account. All right, so what you're then gonna do is you're actually gonna click on your name. All right, obviously I had to gray out, and block out the name of the person that I was actually registering in this moment, because I don't want you guys taking their information, obviously. But either way, once you have that name there, then you're going to select the role. All right, now under the role is where you would pick the composer, the author, or both. Now the other things, those are for things that are entirely different. All right, as far as the arranger and things like that, you don't really have to worry about two things. Those are very, very rare, very, very rare cases. All right, so in your case, for most independent artists who's just making music, you're only really looking at author, composer, or both. All right, so I'm gonna do this for the general person. The general person doesn't make their own beats, so if you would probably put in you as the author. All right, you're the one who wrote the lyrics. Then from that point, what you would then want to do is you would then want to put in your share. All right, now your share as the author, when it comes to this side, would be 25%. All right, now it's only 25% if there's no other artists on the song, right? If it's just you on the song and you have a producer who made the beat, it's just the two of you that are a part of the song, then you would absolutely put 25%. All right, now once you put 25%, you're actually going to see the 25% in red above, and as you can see, it says the writer share total has to be 50%. All right, now I'm gonna pause here for a second, and the reason I want to pause because this can be confusing to a lot of different people, because different performing rights organizations use different percentage scales. All right, so BMI, for example, BMI rates everything at a 200% scale. All right, so your total has to be 200, 100 from the writers and the other 100 from the publisher. All right, Ascap only does 100 total, 50 from the producer, or 50 from the writers and 50 from the publishers. All right, you have to keep that in mind when you're dealing with percentages, because it can get very, very confusing if you don't understand what the total amount is. So keep in mind that the total has to come up to 100, not 200 like BMI is, only 100. All right, so going back to this, which is why you would put 25% of the writer's share instead of 50%, even though it's just you and the producer, right? You would only put 25%. Now, from that point, this is where you would actually put in, or you would click on add another writer. All right, once you click add writer, you could search the producer's name. Now, my favorite part about Ascap is it literally has a great database, because it even has other people's name in there who may not actually be members with Ascap. All right, so if your producer is actually with BMI, you can still search your producer's name. All you got to do is type in the actual government name of the producer. All right, now if you purchase your beat online, or you got your beat from BeatStars or something like that, and you don't know the producer's name, it's going to be in the lease agreement when you purchase the song. As soon as you purchase the song, you'll get an email with a lease agreement. In that leasing agreement, it will show you the actual governmental name of the producer, and that is the name that you're going to put in. Once you put in, it should auto-populate and show you the producer's full name, as well as what organization they're a part of. It may say ASCAP just like you, or it may say BMI or something else, but either way, the producer's name should come up. All right, once the producer's name come up, you then put their role, and obviously their role would be the composer, because they're the ones who made the music only, right? You did the lyrics, they did the beat. All right, and then again, this is for a typical song. All right, it would just be you and the producer, right? So then from that point, you would put 25% as the share for the producer as well, because most leasing agreements is split 50-50, and the leasing agreement is going to say 50-50% for each, but in case of this, you have to put 25-25, because that really equals 50%, if you get what I'm saying. And that's why I wanted to go over the numbers, because your leasing agreement says 50-50. What they're really saying is that you have to split the total writing between you and the producer. In this case, the total writing only equals to 50%. So to split that, it has to be 25-25. But once you put 25% as the producer as well, you should see that it should show a green up top as a share for the writers. All right, and this is how you would essentially put in you and your producer as the percentage for the writers. Now again, if you have any features, right, you would have to then add another writer, and you would have to change it to percentages, right? So just to give you guys an example, if you had another artist that was featuring on the track, right, the producer still needs to get 50% because that's according to the leasing agreement. So the producer will always get that 25% when we're thinking about ASCAP, all right? If you have a feature on your song, you have to split your 25% with that feature. If you have somebody else who wrote lyrics for the song, you have to split your 25% with that person as well. The producer will always get 50% of their share when you're doing those leasing agreements, all right? So if you do have another artist on there and you want to split it half and half between you and him, then you each would have to split that 25% two ways. So that would be what? Like one person will get maybe 13% and one person will get 12%. All right. But either way, the producer will still get that 25%. You cannot take anything out of the producer's 50% of the leasing agreement. All right. So if you have multiple people on the track, like if there's 3 or 4 of you guys on the track, then you got to split that 25% 3 or 4 different ways. All right. I just want to make sure you guys are clear on this before we move forward. Anybody else who's in the song or who had a part of the writing as far as the song goes, you split that outside of the producer's 25% share. All right. So that's how you do the total writing share on ASCAP. And again, it will equal out to 50%. All right. Now, from that point, you would then do the percentages for the publisher. All right. Now, before I continue with the publisher side, all right, you have to keep in mind how you registered your account. All right, because there are 2 ways you could register your account. You could, well, there's actually 3, but for most independent artists, you would either register as a writer or you would register as a writer and publisher. I hope you guys registered as a writer and publisher because it is free to do so, at least as of right now. All right. It's not always free. In this current time period, it is free. It's probably gonna go back to the sign up fee again. But for right now, if you don't have an Ascap account, definitely take advantage of it because it's absolutely free right now. All right. But if you did sign up as a writer and publisher, then when it comes to the first name that you put under the publisher, you would absolutely just put your name. You would put your full name the way it shows as the writer. So you would put your full name in there, and then the next thing is going to show you the society. Obviously, your society would be ASCAP because that is the performing rights organization or society that you are a part of. So you would put ASCAP there, and then you will go ahead and put 25% as the publisher share, which means that you get half of the publisher share unless you're dealing with a publishing company or something like that. All right. Now, there is a box that you could check that says do not have a publisher. So if you signed up only as a writer and you didn't sign up as a publisher, then you would check this box and it would just throw a 25% up there. But if you did sign up as a publisher, put your name, put what society you're in, aka ASCAP or whatever the case may be, and put your 25%. All right. Now, that last 25% that's missing, because right now we're really theoretically at 75%, that last 25% also goes to the producer. And the reason I say that is because most of the leasing agreements, in the leasing agreement, if you read the leasing agreement, the producer also wants 50% of the publishing share. All right. So what you would actually have to do is you would actually have to put in the producer's name as well as a publisher, and you will put what society that he or she is in. That should have already showed up when you typed it in for the writing, because right next to the producer's name in the writing, it should show up what society they're a part of. All right. In this case, it was BMI. All right. So all you would do is you would search BMI and put in BMI again on the other side. All right. And then you will put the producer's share at 25% on that side as well. Okay. So as you can see, with a standard song between you and the producer, everything is split 50-50 between you and the producer. All right. And then it should show up all green, 50 as the writers and 50 as the publishers. All right. So that's essentially how you split the shares on ASCAP specifically. All right. Now, again, if you have features and other scenarios like that, it may be a little bit different. Of course, if you have, if it's too complex for you, you could always reach out to me and I can help you out with it, because I do music business coaching sessions at a fee. So if you guys really need help and you want to make sure you do it right, you could always reach out to me. But this is how you would do it for a standard song between just an artist and a producer. All right. Once the share is complete and you get those two green 50-50 on both, you then move on to all of the minor things, all right? And the next minor thing is going to be, has this work been recorded, all right? Now, what they're asking you, is this a recorded track or was it recorded in the studio? In most cases, it has been recorded. In most cases, it is recorded if you're an independent artist, right? So you're going to type in the recording artist name. This is when you actually put in your artist name. Everything above was your governmental name, right? But here's where you actually put your artist name. Then you're going to type in the sound recording title, all right, which is the name of the song, obviously. And then you want to put in the ISRC code, all right? Now, if you don't know what the ISRC code is, then you got to check with your music distribution company. Whoever you're signed up with through music distribution, whether it's DistroKids, Symphonic, Ditto, United Masters, TuneCore, Two Lost, whatever is your music distribution company, they are the people who actually issue out your ISRC code if you didn't buy your own personally. All right. So if you don't know what it is, you got to go to that, you got to log into your music distributor's website to get the ISRC code. Now, what does that mean? If you haven't actually released your music yet, you can't actually fill this out, right? Because it's asking you to put in your ISRC code. So you have to distribute the music first, and then you sign up for this where you put in that ISRC code, all right? Unless you have your own. So that's where you would put in the ISRC code. And then lastly, of course, you would put the release date. Obviously, the release date is in correlation with the ISRC code, right? If you haven't released the song yet, then you don't have a release date or an ISRC code. So the song has to be released before you sign up with this performing rights organization. All right. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier, but I'm mentioning it now. You have to have a song out before you could do this. All right. Now, to continue on, the next thing to be asked is, has this work been performed? All right. Now, essentially what they're asking you is, have you performed this song, on stage or anything like that yet? If you haven't, that's cool. But if you're planning to at some point, you better go ahead and put in your artist name on there as well, because it's going to ask for the performer's name. You're going to put your name on that as well, as far as the performer goes, because you want to actually get credit for when you do performances as well. Then the next part is going to ask you, or the next session is going to ask you, is this work intended for commercial film or other products? All right. Now you're going to see it says, if no, skip. All right. So this is really the first one that you could skip. Now, what is this asking is asking, is this song primarily for anyone, intended for any one of these things? Now, the key word is intended, and they're going to give you things like commercials, like jingles. All right. Is it intended for film? Is it intended for TV? Is it intended for radio? They give you all of these options that it's intended for. All right. But again, the key word is intended. If you essentially just made your song, to release on music distribution, and you just want people to listen to it on the radio, things like that, and other places, then you could skip this part. All right. What this is specific for is if you specifically made it for one of these things. All right. That doesn't mean that you can't use it for film. That doesn't mean that your song can't show up on a TV commercial or a movie or anything like that. It just means that what is it primarily made for? And it's primarily made as just a song, right? So this is one of those that you can absolutely skip. You don't have to put anything here. Don't put radio, because if you put radio as intended, that means you can't use it for any of those other things. So your best thing to do is just leave it as nothing. Don't put anything in here at all. Just skip over this, all right? Now, the next couple is going to be the same thing. So the next one is going to ask, is this a concert? They're basically asking you if it's orchestra and things like that. You're going to skip this one as well. No, you don't got to put anything for that. Then the next one is going to ask is, does this work include a sample? All right. So if the producer sampled this by any means, all right, that's where you will put this information in. But for you as an artist, you can skip this one as well. Typically, the artist already figured that part out when they made the beat, so you could skip this part as well, as far as does the work has any samples. All right. Then the next thing it's gonna ask you is, does the work use public domain elements? All right. So in most cases, you're going to skip this as well. If you want to know exactly what this means, does your work, is it using any music that was on public domain? I'm telling you right now, most of you, if not all of you, are going to say no to this, because what they're essentially asking you is, are you using any music that, like, basically kind of like samples? Did you sample any music that was before 1928? Because before 1928, any music that was out was public domain. All right. So if you sampled anything before 1928 and you did use it in the elements, but again, this is something that you would probably see when it comes to the producer. It's not really you as the artist. So this one is another one of those that you just really just skip over. You don't have to put anything for this as well. All right. Now, the next part is, do you know the performance time for this work? Now, this one you actually do have to put in, and essentially all they're asking you is the length of the song. All right. And you got to put it in by hour, by minutes, and by seconds. So all you got to do really is just find the MP3, find out exactly how long your song is, and you want to type it in. Obviously, for most songs, you're never going to touch an hour. So it's 00.03, for example, .48, or then that would be for 3 minutes and 48 seconds. All right. So once you actually put in the recording time, that is the last thing that you actually have to put in for the form. Now, from this point, you have two options. You can either save the form so you can finish it at a later date, or you could submit it. All right. Now, for those of you who has everything set up and everything is already in there, just go ahead and submit and you're good to go. Now, the instances that you would obviously want to save it is if you can't finish it now, or if you haven't released the song yet, right? You can fill this all out, but you can save it until you release the song, because why? You still need the release date on there. You still need the ISRC code, right? So you can literally save this form here, and then once you actually release your form through, or your song through music distribution, and you get your ISRC code as well as your release date, then you could come back to your Ascap, put in those last two information, then submit it from there, right? But that's pretty much it. That's how you actually register a song with Ascap, all right? Like I told you before, the bulk of it is in the writing and publishing and the percentage splits. And obviously, if you're a band, it gets complex, and the more people you have involved in a song, the more complex it could get. All right. So this video was just for the most basic songs, all right, or the most songs that you hear, the most songs that get released. Is usually just one artist and a producer, all right? But if you need any help with this whatsoever, you could always reach out to me, leave comments in the comment section below, all right? But that's pretty much it, guys. That's how you register a song with Ascap. Now, I definitely wanted to let you guys know about my membership right here on YouTube, all right? If you want to become a member of my membership program, you'll actually be able to get a lot of different perks, including free one-on-one music business coaching sessions where I can actually walk you through and help you sign up for your or register your song. I can literally be there with you as you're registering your song. All right. So if you guys want me to like literally be there with you, we could get on a Zoom call, get on it together, and figure it out together. We can definitely do that with the membership. Right now, if you just want to pay just for the one-on-one hour coaching, you can do that as well, but it's cheaper being part of the membership, because with the certain level of my membership, you get that free, all right? And some other things you get with the membership is, of course, priority responses to comments, as well as exclusive walkthrough videos and things like that as well. But most people take advantage of the free one-on-one music business coaching sessions that they can take a part of. So if you're interested in this in any way, of course, hit the join button, all right? And it'll show you the different levels and the different perks that are associated with the different levels, all right? But that's pretty much it, guys. That's how you register a song with Ascap. Of course, leave comments in the comment section below. I'm here to help you guys as independent artists. And lastly, if you guys are looking into starting your own music business and you really want to like dive in and you really want to leave that 9-to-5 job, I strongly urge you to grab my ebook here, the 13 steps to jumpstart your music business, because with this ebook you'll actually be able to identify all the things that I did. All right, it's literally the roadmap that I took to put myself in a position to leave my 9-to-5 job. I've been doing music for 6 years now, and it's the only thing I do. I do music full-time now. I have a full-time music business, and I want the same thing for everybody who watches my videos and who's on my channel as an independent artist, all right? So if you want to grab that ebook, of course, I'll leave the link in the descriptions for that as well, all right? It's a great ebook to have, and everyone who's had it has told me great things about it, all right? But again, that's pretty much it, guys. Please leave comments in the comment section below if you need any help with anything else, anything music related, music industry tips wise. All right, I hope this video helped, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.
I feel like Moses, big Moses. Yeah. Can nobody hold me? Yeah. Nobody. Yeah. I'm feeling like Daniel, big daddy. Yeah. Can nobody face me? Yeah. I feel like Joseph, big Joseph. Yeah. Can nobody break